order. Let's go ahead and adopt the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda or anything anybody wants to add? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and adopt the agenda as presented. The business section of the agenda will be presented by Superintendent Hawkins. And we will all be eating, so you go ahead and...
This is good. Good evening, everybody. I appreciate you guys coming tonight. First item agenda is facility use. This is something we've been kicking the tires on for about 2 months now, right? And what the facility, specifically the access to the track and the turf field. And so that's really what we're discussing today and making that final decision. It's been pretty controversial about, yes, everybody should use it, or no, it needs to be modified, or no, not at all. Anyway, so it is time to make a decision. And if you remember, I sent out 3 options that look that way. One is the shut down completely and only organizations with facility use outside of our school would be able to use it that way, but obviously for our school community it is for our classrooms and our kids, and they can use it whenever they would like. That is option 1, and that's the option that I recommend. Just talking to Emmett, to Homedale, to people on the other side of the state. There's a couple of them that started with it open and then had to modify it down to limited access, and we know we've created other access points that the community can use. The other one was modified, as in modified only specific times. It can be open or by supervision. And said I've gotten some things in the community about wanting to make sure that the track is still available. A lot of people from our older community, because the turf or the track is easier for knees and things like that, and safety reasons as well. And the last one is just no holds bar. It's open. Whatever happens out there happens.
Like it is now.
Yeah, like it is now. Yeah. Before the track or before the turf. I will let you know that we've already had some issues out there with dogs and cigarette butts and things like that. Even though we do have a fence up, and so a fence is going to stop people if they want to get in. But I do think finding a way to help keep it secure is important. So. With that said, I wanted to pass this out. These are the 4 different cost breakdown options that we asked about. You guys asked me to get information about pricing, and I'll explain these to you, just so you know. And Ms. Melendez is here to be one of our experts. So as you can see, these are this is information you guys need. So the first one is fencing, and that's temporary fencing around. My idea on this one was starting at, I apologize.
What do you mean by temporary?
So you know how that, like the construction site out there was at the volleyball court, where the fencing comes in panels and can be moved, can be taken down during like track season, football season, those kind of things. But it lays on the track, and so from lanes like 3 on in, right? That's where the fence is. Everybody can use 4, 5, 6. That's open all the time, but they can't just access the turf in those inside lanes. That's going to cost us approximately $50,000, and that it does take a little bit of setup by our maintenance, and obviously weather and stuff might knock it down, but we're able to move that in and out as needed. So
You can increase or decrease the circumference of that.
Yep, you can. And if you say, hey, we just want it only around the football field, leaving the whole track open, that's available as well. I just thought a buffer in there would be good, so that was working with Mr. Melendez. We said it's going to be roughly about $50,000 for that.
Yeah.
But like I said, those come in panels. It's on the trailer. We take it in and out. There was a question so on the bottom it's a crossbar, right, where those posts sit, and then we put plywood underneath that, which might increase the cost a little bit so we don't damage the track. But so that's how that would work.
Yeah, we talked about like the heat,
Yeah.
that damage the track if you're putting weight through.
Yeah, and the metal on top of that, and so that's where we thought having that plywood underneath it would help that.
Reduce the heat.
Yeah. The second one in the aqua there, I'm not good with colors. Ask my wife. It's all blue and a different color blue. time locks, and so this one would obviously be part of the modified entry, is you shut it all down, and then there's a lock that kind of looks like the locks that we have here, that from a certain time, like 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., it would open up, right? It would be unlocked, and you could use it, and then it would lock down after that, and at night, it would do the same thing. The weekends, obviously, I don't know how the schedule would work on the weekends, and I do really think the weekends is when we'll see the most use, having organizations come in. But that would be a time lock, getting the fence around it that would be able to be secure with that lock.
We'd
there.
probably just do one spot.
Yeah, that's all it would be, and it would probably be this main spot right here where most people go in and out right now by the concessions where the football team comes in and out. That would be the main place for that.
Community
to
access
occur.
that.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's where most people do access it over there. So, and we would prefer they park in the parking lot and walk over there and do that rather than driving behind. And so that is about $8,000 to get that set up going. The next one we discussed, well, introducing cameras out there. I'm working with tech department. We said it's going to take about 3 cameras to really get a good view of that, and it's about $5K per camera. We did talk that the bad part about those cameras, like we had 3 students last Thursday that were off the fence at night. We're in there. Our staff said, "Hey, you guys got to go." But even when we looked at kind of our existing,
You don't know there.
we couldn't tell who they were unless, it's like, hey, we know they were here, then we can kind of start putting 2 and 2 together at that point. It's just that distance.
You might be able to see their car.
Yeah, if they drove up, yeah. And so, so it's about 5,000 each to kind of triangulate that. And obviously, those cameras, they are motion detectors, so it detected, so we could go back and see the video, but I mean, we're not going to monitor 24/7, not unless we find an issue. So, and then the next one, if we did want to look at an on-site staff member at certain times to let people in and regulate that, like Jesse staff in the mornings or things like that, it is roughly about $47 an hour after all the payroll taxes, and so that's something we need to think about. But yes, we want a person out there, and so that's in there as well. Jesse, can you think of anything else I forgot going through the kind of the costs of?
Tell us your opinion on some of the problems.
My opinion is that we should keep it locked. We don't know when it's in. I think the city has done a great job of putting 2 walking paths in both the South Park with playground and at Fence Park. And then we have this walking path here. Cameras, gonna be too dark. You're not gonna be able to monitor, you're not gonna be able to see who's in there. Susie, if you say you wanted to use the gym, the track, and you fill out the facilities request, and you put your insurance. Tomorrow I notice there's damage. I look, Susie, there's damage here. I guarantee you're gonna say, I wasn't like that when I left it. So there's just, to me, there's just too much of a risk. Homedale tried it for 2 years to keep it open. They ended up locking it down. Then it just doesn't, they just lock it. You're gonna get some kickback, but nobody's said anything now. Everybody's kind of find a different area to practice, walk, run.
Did we all get a chance to look at those 3 options, 1, 2, and 3? Maybe we should say where we're at kind of on that first, or?
So I wasn't here that other meeting, but I asked 20 members of the community, 5 seniors, 6 students, and another 9 between 28 and 40. And I'm just gonna say the main things that I like. They wanna protect the turf because it's for the students. One of the people that I asked, he said that he gets that the community paid for it, but he's like, I was a bus driver, I have a CDL, so that means that I paid for the bus, I can just go get the bus. That was his answer. I'm like, I like that. The other one said that he rent the soccer field one time. He had to pay a deposit and fill all the forms. Why not? If you're gonna need the track, do it there. He said, we have a nice street so they can walk. Me personally, I live in front of South Park. I being walking the last 2 weeks. The park gets water between 1 and 2 a.m. because I stay up to make sure that I know the time, so I can tell whoever the times. I walked last week when it was raining, it's not slippery. I walked after the rain where there was mud, sand, and I test the pad, it's not slippery. I walked with a gentleman that he's 80 and the other lady's like almost 90. We walk there every day in the morning. We walk in the evening sometimes. There's nothing there. They can say, okay, I have that back and I can walk. No. What are we doing? So, like I said, all the people that I asked, they were like, no, it's for the students. Let's protect that investment. And it was for them and we were thinking of them.
So your opinion is,
No,
no what?
no, leave it closed.
And it is well lit over there, South Park, correct? That good lights around that. We don't have that currently out there, but it's well lit. So,
Yeah, so like I said, if people are saying, okay, we need some place to walk, sorry, I stay until 1 in the morning and I make sure it's like 1 and 2 when they walk in.
Susie?
I agree, I think it should be locked up all the time. That's my opinion. How do you go?
I personally took a couple laps through here, through the playground where the trees were removed. And while I was there, my daughter was playing on the playground with a few other kids. I've seen another parent running not only through where it was paved here at the elementary playground, but then she even goes outside the fence and continues on where the PTO has the carnival and goes all the way around those trees. So, and while her child is also playing on the playground, the new playground here, the 3rd through 5th grade. So I am seeing others utilize what was put in for that purpose. And I would also agree with Jasmine, just like you can rent any other part of the facilities through requesting it, then you can access it, that makes sense. But I did not take time to ask everyone, just because I noticed that there are individuals using this, not only that one parent, but then there's other times where I've seen people utilizing it.
Yeah, we have no lighting back there at the track right now. This one here has got a lot, plenty of lighting here.
What about lights up against the road?
The street lights,
Do they?
plenty of light.
Okay.
And I don't come here when it's dark outside, because just like the parks close as darkness falls or comes up or whatever, I figured the same here at the playground. Why would you be out there if it's getting dark outside? But the times that I've come, the gates aren't locked here. They're open, and it is after school hours and on the weekends.
So one of the things we've talked about a lot in the last year and a half is we want to have facilities that attract kids to the facilities, and instead of being out partying or causing problems. And so I look at it, we've got a great playground. That's really good to bring smaller kids, and especially parents who want to walk. I think that's a fantastic facility. Kids can play on the playground, parents can walk, they can see their kids while they're doing it. Probably more practical than a parent walking here while having the kid play in the stands or somewhere else. Right. But that's for grade school kids. And so we have somebody like Luke Baker who came to the board meeting a while ago who said, I want to have access to the track so I can practice on what I will be competing on the same material, the same situations. I've talked to a few people who say we'd like to have the track open, whether it's for impact on their knees or other things. It's a nice option there. But to me, I look at it and say, we're putting that money into it, and then we're going to close it off. So it kind of goes against what we've been talking about for the last year of let's improve the facilities so kids want to be here. But we're improving the facilities and then we're locking it so they can't be here. So my position is I'd like to see it left open and give the community an opportunity to do what's right. Like Brian has stated, we're having problems even though it's totally fenced off right now. So fence it off permanently. The only people who will be accessing it early morning, late at night are gonna be people who are up to no good anyway. So my opinion is leave it open, continue to attract the kids, but with restrictions, with a curfew, time blocks. I like the cameras idea. If people know they're being watched, a little bit more likely to treat it respectfully, I would hope. There's a reason I have cameras on my house. And they've come in handy a couple of times. Anyway, that's my 2 cents is I'd like to see it open, give the community a chance, but have some restrictions in place.
I feel similar to Dustin. I think most people know that. I've made Facebook posts. I've gotten probably 25 comments, and all of them from the community members saying they'd like it to be open to some way. I've talked to kids, I've talked to my own kids, I've talked to quite a few people about it. I think locking it permanently, I'm not that worried about the community being able to walk. Of course, we have some other options. We have a nice community anyways. I mean, Ryan and I go running in the morning on the street. It's fine. It's good. I'm not really that worried about the community. I'm worried about our kids. I've talked to the head track coach, Jeff Beck, to say, how important is it that our kids have access? And he says, he's a huge advocate of them having access to the track in off-season. My kids my daughter loves track. She loves cross-country. She loves competing at a high level. She just broke the school record in the 3,000, the 3K. Like, they're super passionate. We want kids that are passionate about running if we're gonna be good at these things. And so by locking it up, we restrict their access to using it in the to a high level. Like my kids alone, they want to go and try to see if they can have their best mile time on the track. Like that, they're interested in that because we have a really good thing going right now. That good thing going is track and cross country. It's our best. They're our best programs right now, and we're saying let's restrict your access to running. That doesn't make any sense to me to restrict access for the few things that we are doing well in sports right now. I mean, it's obvious that we're not super successful in sports in a lot of ways right now, but we are in running. And why in the world would we block access to them to do that? So
you think that we're blocking access to them?
I think if kids want to run past 4 o'clock, which is only in school, like we're gonna say you can run between 8 in the morning and 4 o'clock on the days we have school, which is Monday to Thursday, so we have 4 days they can use it between 8 and they do school and then it's blocked.
Yeah.
And so
Should we just keep the gym open so the kids can work on basketball in their own time? Not lock it up, just open it up to the public and let them have access?
I mean, we basically do that now. We just have someone that comes and says we'll be a member there.
So with the.
So they fill out a facilities request and they put out their documentation, they put their insurance, so they're liable. So if you're gonna want your kid here, supervise them. Fill out the request.
Cross country runs around town. They don't run here.
They do both. They absolutely do.
But they love to be running out
time
there.
sprints all the time. I mean, you go ask Laws if he does timed sprints. I guarantee you he does them on the track. Every cross-country runner does them on a track where they can
Correct.
optimally
As a
sprint.
coach.
Yeah.
So if Mr. Beck wants to improve his program, I don't see Mr. Beck out there.
Oh, he goes down all the time. He invites people all the time down there.
So-
Now, obviously, he has access, right? He's gonna have access.
So do we have to have a paid staff member at our facilities all the time?
It'd be no different than having the gym open. I mean, it's
But
gotta
even
be a
in the
staff
gym,
member, a
do we
coach.
have to have a paid
And
staff
even-
member there?
And even with coaches, they have regulations when it comes to OSAA. They can't have more than 2 kids at certain times of the season.
And obviously, the gym is a little different because it's indoors. There's many different things that they can access indoors. This is an outdoor facility. So they have similarities, but they're not the same. They are different. And so I just think that we're hurting the kids.
And I
by
do
not allowing
remember, I
access.
just had like a flashback with Luke, he said he wanted to work on his throwing in where he's actually gonna be at. it wasn't just about
Right.
the track, it was
Wasn't just
also
about
like,
track.
well, I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
Shot
You're
put.
right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what it's
Wasn't
called.
the shot put thing over there by the middle school?
No, it's over.
There's,
closer
yeah, there's
to
a
this
discus
road.
over there, but there's the shot put's over on the other side.
One stop last week, and pick her up in the grade school. There was 2 parents sitting on the bench. Kids are throwing stuff in the playground. It's brand new. Parents are right there. I said, this is the reason why we need to keep it closed. And that Mr. Beck runs around town with the kids. Well, he doesn't run, he rides a bike. And the kids are running. If they want to use the track, why not? But not just leave it open to everybody, because parents are not gonna care. Some won't care.
Well, didn't you say you've been cleaning up dog poop off the
Yeah,
track
yeah, we do.
just recently?
I was like, hey, we invest all this money, and because you think that we're closing it, now we're gonna lose this, which the kids are excited to have, and therefore the kids,
What's your opinion, Donnie? Let's move on.
I feel the same way as they do. I mean, I think that it's been done for quite some time, granted we haven't had turf. In my interactions with the community and other people, it's been pretty much 50-50. And the people who talk, granted it's a very small percentage. I would assume that the majority of people are just ambivalent. Or if they do, they're not gonna say anything, and it's just really no big deal to them. We've done it in the past. We've had people use it. I'm not sure, other than what Ryan has mentioned about some of the damages that have been done with it over the years. The officer has patrolled through there quite a bit. I don't see a lot of trouble coming out of it. We've had some off and on over the years. Had some people come from other schools and try to mar up the field and do some other things in the past. But it's pretty rare. So, I'm like, I'm willing to give with restrictions like Justin was talking about, it's a long period of people.
I mean, I do think these things make it safer, give it rules, and still allow access. I mean, I'm for protecting, I think all of us are for protecting it. None of us want it to go to waste. I just think our kids should have the ability to continue the thing that they are passionate about.
You know, I think a big thing with athletes too is those who excel, and I mean, I see we're talking about Peyton, the 300-meter record, that's 3,000. Okay, thanks. I couldn't do more than 300, so. But that's because I don't practice year round. I mean, the athletes who really excel don't just practice during the season. They don't just practice a little bit before, a little bit after. They practice year round. And I think practically speaking, to have a student who wants to practice year round, who wants to go onto the facility and say, okay, but you need to now fill out this request form and provide insurance every time you spontaneously want to go try to improve, they won't do it.
Well, and ideally, you're doing it once or twice a week at least. So you're gonna make them fill something out twice a week to go. I just
No,
don't
you do
see
it
that being
once.
feasible.
You do it once, right? Like,
Before,
yeah, for the rest.
however many
You
days.
just say, I'm gonna go for the, every
Right.
Friday.
I'm gonna be using it, I'm gonna be out there, I'm responsible for whatever damage is there when I'm out there, and then, I mean, that's,
But then
but
that
it's a
means-
kid, it's just different.
Right, and it's going to be open, and when more people come on and say, hey, it's open, and more people show up, that kid's gonna be the one who's responsible to say, sorry, my time, leave.
Yeah, which is an awkward place.
Puts them in a hard spot.
I think you still need adult supervision.
But they don't now.
I mean, high school kids should be able to come to the track and use it.
Right.
Respectfully,
Right.
right?
Do I think damage is gonna happen? Absolutely. I do. Leaving it open, damage will happen. There will be extra wear and tear. I think that's a given, but I also think locked up fully, damage is gonna happen. You won't have the wear and tear, but the damage that will happen will be malicious damage.
So by no means, just so everybody's clear, I am not against having anybody's kids excel. I'm all for that. We're gonna have open gym for the basketball girls starting Wednesday. Fill out the facilities request. But this is the time we're gonna use it from this time to this time. So I want every athlete to excel.
And I wasn't
Also
implying that
wanted
either,
to-
sorry, Jesse, that came across.
No, Jesse, I think it's awesome how much you want to protect the facilities. I really do. That's your job, right? And you do a good job of it. We appreciate that.
Yeah, $50,000, I can tell you, I can put that towards a good roof.
I just don't see I guess the temporary fencing, it is $50,000, but I don't see how that's gonna help if a kid wants to go practice throwing the football on the turf. Like, again, we're limiting access. Does that make any
Right.
sense? So that seems like,
And we're not saying kids aren't allowed to do that, like, they need to get with their coaches and tell their coaches, like, if it's someone that wants to work on track, get with the coaches, how many coaches do we have on staff? You just need one coach to be able to be there and supervise them, and then they can use that as much as they want if the coach is there. Coach puts in a facilities request, done, as long as they're with the coach. I mean, I coached for 10 years, and kids came to me all the time asking, hey, can you practice more? Absolutely, I'll be there. So I think that's what we should try to utilize, try to set that expectation.
And I like the idea of not the fencing, but the time blocks mixed with the cameras. So there is a time, people aren't just showing up at 2 in the morning. And then the cameras, like I said, I think those alone are a pretty good deterrent. Not perfect, but neither is the fence.
I like the idea of coach having to be there with their athletes. I could live with that.
I think of like a Jeff Beck, like in the summertime when these kids are getting better, like he's doing melons, he's farming. Like,
Well, but there are 3 or 4 track coaches.
I mean, you might be able to get them, that's true, but then JoJo's off playing football, right? Like, that's what,
Well, I think they can do that because they do the weight room workouts where coach is in there and then they have that access during that time. There's a staff member with them in the weight room and then on the track. So I think that for the summer mechanisms are built in for us. Just those off times. I know Mrs. Morinaka emailed because she couldn't be here. She's on a trip, and then her recommendation was, especially because it's going to get darker sooner right now, is keep it locked down once it starts getting light again. Then look at, so right now keep it very modified and then start opening it up slowly rather than just having it full open and then kind of trying to go the other way.
one time you mentioned that these new lights are much better.
Yeah, they're way better.
And is there, how much would it cost to leave a light on for a block of time? I mean, do we know?
I wouldn't know, yeah.
Yeah, so in Blackfoot tennis courts, if you wanted to go play, getting light, they had a switch you could flip on it. And then it just stayed on a timer. The lights stayed on for half an hour and then flipped off and you had to go manually turn it back on. But I don't know how hard that would work with what's out there. But
But maybe get another pole out there for a light. Not big one, not a big one. You know, just like a floodlight like we have outside the building. It would just illuminate a little more. I mean, obviously we don't want to make it like it's sunrise out there. Yeah, something like on the crow's nest would be good. It would throw some light out there. Yeah.
But if we do time blocks, then I wouldn't be opposed to having those time blocks. Close it down at dark. I mean, they're programmable, they can be changed a couple times a year.
Yeah, I think it should be open very dark. I mean,
Right.
yeah, the parks are closed at dark early.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think it should be locked at dark.
Problem is, you know, here in a month, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, it's like we have school, so there's no open anyway if that's,
And then
Yeah.
basically you're fully restricting access to it
yeah.
in the wintertime. If you,
So can we close the facility from now to February? And then
But what
talk
about
about it
weekends?
in February and start and open it again?
yeah, I mean, weekends.
You do. Weekends it's open.
Kids could during the day, which I think
Yeah.
was your time blocks, right? On the
Yeah.
weekends, there'd be open times.
Yeah.
It'd be better, I mean, it's still better than it being closed, I mean, for sure, because lots of kids, I mean, the weekends for kids are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's 3 days. It's 3
Well, I
days these
think
kids
with
are
a
trying to-
coach or with a paid staff member, it could be opened.
That's the policy for facilities now.
Yeah.
But it's not followed all the time, there's not paid staff members there all the time.
I think it's always followed.
I think so. Well, I'm supposed to. Everybody's a D now.
Not me.
What I, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I do, my concern is on the weekends, is that's when we'll see most of the abuse use by outside organizations, and regulating that. And so, so that's my only concern, but just having a free open on the weekends, I do think that's when we'll get the most.
But if you had the one access point with cameras in the daytime, you'll be able to see people a lot better.
Yeah.
And then it closes when it's dark.
I said they go through that point, they can just jump across too.
But they can do that no matter
They're
what.
gonna do that.
Right. That's not affected by this policy.
But all the leagues and the soccer leagues and those things that are already planning to play here, they would just go, it's open, oh, why go through facility use, would we just go down there?
And we need a big sign that talks about, you will be
There's big signs now that
trespassing.
say no bikes, no dogs, and they still do it.
Scooters are a pain out there, they will run their scooters on the track for some reason, which is not good for
Yeah, I mean,
kids.
the policy needs to be, if we see people doing it, like, there's probably a warning, and then there's a, no access.
They, Donnie investigates.
Yeah. Strip access.
Don't worry, we're getting that on Servo, so that'll be, yeah.
You start-
Yeah, that is a challenge too. For example, during the weekdays, staff member will see somebody that shouldn't be on there, but it's not their responsibility to play police officers. They may ask them, because I don't want to put them in that.
Position.
Correct. I may go over there, you're not supposed to be here, you need to be, until they, but as far as my staff goes, I don't like them to do that. I don't want to put them in that position.
So if we were to see someone there and call the police, would they give them a ticket for trespassing, or, I mean, what's the?
Well, I think they would first get a warning on that, saying, hey, you guys can't be out in this time, and then,
In order to get kind of trespassing, anybody, you're gonna have to be warned first. So generally, what happens is, like, let's say you have a person who's not following the rules, generally, just even in the school board, or in the school board, in the schools, right, in the office, you have an irate parent, or somebody that comes in, they're being to the point where it's just unmanageable, or a big issue within the school. Generally, the SRO would get the call down there, and have to deal with that, or an officer, the SRO wasn't there, would deal with that immediate issue. And at some point, it would be directed towards you for a trespassing letter, in which that trespass would be issued to that person saying they're not allowed to come back on the property. And generally, the SRO wishes that, being an officer, that would cover the whole warning piece of the rule. They come back, they get arrested. Correct.
would that work the same as, say, like, the district office, doors are unlocked, but somebody comes in on the nights and weekends, they just go, hey, warning, you gotta get out of here, or would that be a different, I'm just kind
So-
of semantics, if that's locked down,
If it's-
if somebody jumps the fence, like,
That's a different story.
Yeah.
You would want to make sure it's properly signed, though. It doesn't have information on there saying, hey, because we're in Oregon and apparently we're not smart enough to understand that something's locked in, we shouldn't be in it. But the law looks at it that way. And so if you don't have it saying no trespassing or not coming over here, this place is locked down from time to this time, or after dark you're not allowed here, whatever it may be, right? Then we can clearly show, hey, this person had crosses there, even though there's clearly marked area that shows they're not supposed to be here. That's not bad. That's their one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be, of course, entering a building,
That's breaking in there.
that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Well,
what
it's closed off, you're talking about burglary, stuff like that.
So the time lock, where they only have one entry point, they have memories of 6,000 IDs. For every student has an ID. They can use that code to get in. And you could always take a report who was in there last.
I think it's the community being able to have them access this product. I mean, that's why it's timed, right? Is saying on the weekends, Saturday, Sundays from 9 to 11 is actually successful in the community. But again, it's going to get closed. Who's going to bar it open? I mean, how many times is our gym door here, right? There's rocks in it. I mean, hell, I do it every day. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, so that's part of the issue with the time lock, right? Is you'd love for somebody to come use it and it close down, but
But if we had to pay an on-site staff person, give somebody comp time or something, to.
we have to pay them. We couldn't give them comp on it, yeah,
Well, I mean,
unless they're salary.
But before we had students that were like security when they have games, can we still train some of the students and have them be like, do community hours and be there?
Yeah, the problem is they can't be responsible for it. and to make them a supervisor.
You don't want
that's
them to
not
have a
fair.
confrontation, like if they say
Yeah.
you need to leave, and you're gonna say,
Yeah.
"Leave me."
Or what
You
happens.
don't want
And then you
them
go
to-
back.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want anyone to.
I mean, you can see problems with all of it.
oh, yeah,
Like, I just think the time locks and the cameras just are the simplest, easiest way to allow access while also restricting and keep it safe. Okay? If there are,
Try that for a month and then talk about later
I mean,
and
you
then.
can always change the policy.
But we're spending a lot of money to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I think when we post it, there should be some, I don't know.
No one's gonna be
it's
sad
hard
there's
to too
cameras
much
out
on
there
it.
anyways. Who's gonna be sad there's cameras out there? No one's gonna be sad.
Right.
You know, $15,000 to see if someone's out there doing, like, I don't think that's a bad investment either way.
Yeah, even if we walk it down. it's a
Yeah,
good
say,
investment.
if you lock it down, you're gonna want that probably anyway, but,
Right.
just saying.
And the time lock, you know,
But the trial idea, I think is good. And the trial ends when the community starts abusing it.
Yeah, so you'll have a reason to say, okay, we try it, it
Right.
didn't work,
This year.
and
yeah, I mean, if the community shows that they're not able to utilize this, I mean, then your hands are tied, like, you have to close it.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
we'll just
I mean,
change, time's gonna change right now. Okay, let's try it. But let's say February or something, and then if something happens, there you go.
And I agree with that. I think
We're
we've
not
got to
gonna
respond
respond
to
till
it.
February.
I know, but I mean,
Everybody has snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna go.
Maybe
you
we're
never
gonna-
know, we said the first gonna be,
Right.
Or sooner.
so they can start practicing soccer and football.
Maybe it's good for 6 months, maybe it's good for 6 years, who knows? But I like giving the community the opportunity to prove themselves. And we have a responsibility to the school, to protect the school investments,
So
right?
you're saying give them 6 months, what, having it open certain hours, or have it completely open, or
No,
what?
open certain hours. I do not think we should have it open completely. I think it should just be certain hours with some locks, with some cameras, and maybe, like I said, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 6 years. If
Well, I
abuse
think
doesn't
they would
happen.
need to revisit it
keep it
in
open.
6 months. and
Yeah, no, I agree.
See how it's going.
I agree.
3 months, not 6.
Well, it's
Right.
gonna be dark, nobody's gonna, they
You
can't.
never know.
So here's my proposition on it, just kind of seeing where we're at, willing to kind of give in the middle, right, that's where we're at. Is we do a modified with time lock cameras and signs clearly posted. But my idea is we only do it on the weekends, because right now with the time you can't, during the school day, like there's not gonna be any time in the mornings or after practice or any of those things. On the weekdays, and we just do a trial run.
So you're saying Friday to Saturday, or Friday to Saturday and
I
Sunday?
mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
From like what, all day, what,
So I was just thinking like a small couple hour block that we,
from 9 to 11?
9 to 11 or something of that nature.
I'll probably do
Park at
Friday
the
and
high
Saturday, but
school.
not Sunday.
Yeah.
Park at the high school, have them walk through this, because once they walk between the cafeteria and the gym, you do have cameras
Yeah,
there.
and we'll get everybody here
Cafeteria
in
and
there.
gym, you mean the
Yeah,
district office is right here?
Like
The
2
cafeteria.
hours.
where the old football
Yeah.
thing is.
You're saying 2 hours, Friday and
Yeah,
Saturday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just on the weekends when we know there's not
Like
kids out
9
there.
AM to 11?
To 11. yeah.
Well, why not just do daylight hours during those days?
It's a long time.
Just gonna start snowing no matter what, so kids are not gonna be there.
Yeah. I mean, we can do that, like I said, it's organizations coming in and trying to use it at that time, we just want to just lock it down for it.
So what if, say I wanted to go in, but somebody did a facilities use and wanted to do soccer practice, so I can't be there?
As long as you're not interrupting their facility, their actually facility used to be for the field. And so you couldn't, if they're having soccer practice, go, yeah, let's go through the football round and get injured and anyway. So that would be their facilities at that time.
I think we need to set a specific time.
And
I-
try it.
What do you mean time? Like,
Well, not all day. I think we need to say like, 2 to 4 hours, like, I don't know, certain time. And let the community know it'll be open on the weekends from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, from when to when. And there will be cameras. We're,
It's just the track.
yeah,
Stay off the track.
just the track. You have to
Turf,
stay
yeah.
off the turf.
Will the
if-
signs say that? Stay off
Well,
the
and
turf.
then the community needs to know, if it is abused, we will have to go to closing it all down. This is a trial.
Yeah.
Let them, I mean, maybe put that out.
I could get some signs.
Well,
Say.
yeah, But they need to know this is a trial. We will try it for 6 months. If somebody's abusing the track, then we're gonna have to shut it all the way down.
So they won't play later because I already,
Well, with that, I mean, if it's a trial and it's successful, we're
Then
gonna
we could-
extend it to,
We could talk about it in
I
6
say we
months.
revisit it in 6 months, say,
Mhm.
I mean, it'll get light again, do we wanna extend this out again? Or, again, go the other way, with Jesse and I monitoring it and making note of anything that's going on.
Because that would be March when we would revisit it. In
Right.
March,
there's
first
not a
of
lot
all.
of things happen between now and March, is there?
There's probably a chance.
Well,
to be
February,
successful
March,
the first 6
should
months.
start.
It's high.
but we can do under 6 months.
Well,
Because then,
And do a
Yeah.
couple more hours
Right.
and just saying, okay, now it's getting lighter, the
Mhm.
community knows what it means to be regulated. Let's give them a couple more hours and then kind of go from there.
so we're just gonna train him first for
Mhm.
whenever,
Yeah,
But they need, you know, big letters, stay off the turf. You may
Spanish.
not be on the turf, in English and Spanish, Japanese, whatever.
if I saw something like that, I'd be like, ooh, I want to go on the turf now.
If
Yeah,
the sign had
and-
something like, for turf use, you know, it's gotta have something that like, there's still access to the
Well, we're
turf.
gonna say personal use only, track, right, personal use only for the track, and then,
Do we need to put that stand with the little doggy food bags?
No, we don't
No.
want.
I know, but they still do.
Oh, it doesn't, it's not gonna matter what we do.
No, if we have the cameras, we see someone taking their dog and it's on there.
Yeah.
You see poop on there, you go look at the camera and say, who was on there with their dog? You're not invited. Like,
Jesse,
we're trying to make this successful so our kids can have access. That's what,
how do you feel about that?
I'm okay with having them, as long as they park at the high school. You gotta specify that don't park at the middle school, don't park behind.
Well, then we need to shut those off.
Yeah, this would be, it's all secured except for one location, one
One
access point.
entryway, that way once they do go by,
But I still think we should have cameras. I
You
know
want
that's
cameras
$15,000,
Yeah.
you want them either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like cameras are a must.
and you think 3 is enough? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
And we have one, them walking in.
yeah.
But you
So
really
there's
want the
already
cameras.
cameras between there. My idea, because the Crow's Nest, having one there, right now we have the Huddle one, which I don't think is as good, it looks a little different. Having one over there by the concessions, and I have kind of a spot, and then one at the high school in that corner looking in, so it's wiring and looking at them with that little, so.
How long would it take to get cameras up and going? Ballpark.
if I had the cameras, we could probably have them. I'll get with the IT guys in a couple of weeks.
So Jesse and I will work on that, I'm sorry, is that
I'm okay with it, but let's decide how long. We haven't decided.
6 months till March?
No,
Oh, the
like
time.
we're gonna have it from 9 to 11, from
The
9
time.
I
to
just think
1.
2 hours is enough.
Let's
I-
do
I
a little
don't-
bit, I mean, maybe.
I don't think the 2 hours is the right
4
time.
hours
I think-
max.
Couldn't we do a morning and then an evening?
That'd be- I mean,
I
Or
think,
not even like a.
You could do a 9 to 11 and a
Then
4 to 6 or something.
But I think we
3
need
to
to
5.
even send it home with the parents on a little piece of paper. You know, this is a
You can-
trial, if you
We
take
have this
care of
awesome
it.
text messaging system that we can.
Yeah,
flash
but-
there's a
out.
lot of
I
parents
just
that
like,
want.
I'm just saying,
do
but we
both.
could do
Yes,
also.
there's
everything.
papers,
Yeah,
so
I'm
they
not
can put in
saying
the
we
fridge.
would.
We'll do
Also-
Facebook, we'll do text messages, we'll get it all done.
And just say, this is a trial, it's gonna be open from this date to, or these times, and if it's abused, then we'll have to lock it all the way
And
down.
if it's not abused, we may have
We'll
further
revisit
access,
it and
yeah.
see.
and can this be like announced or flyer given out at
As I said,
the
like,
ribbon
what was it?
opening?
Oh, they,
Well, during the ribbon cutting ceremony, we'll have access for the community, and then,
Yeah.
we'll have all that specified.
Anyway,
But it won't have to be from 9 to 11, 2 to 4, because 6 is gonna be dark already.
Yeah, I think it's like 9 to 11 and like 3 to 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just like, by the time it's missing.
And to get a free hamburger, they have to decide that they understand the rules of it.
Yep. Write down the social security number.
And the turf is an entirely different thing. If you
Yeah,
want
that's-
to be on the turf, you're gonna have to have a football coach with you.
Or a
facility
soccer
ac-
coach.
Is it for the facility?
Request.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind,
Because after so
just
many.
about everybody who goes out there is gonna step on that turf.
Well, they're gonna wanna go
Absolutely.
touch it and stuff,
Yeah.
but
Right.
to go out there and play on it.
Sprint
is
on
a
it,
different
once,
thing.
you got it.
Yeah, somebody's gonna run right down it to see how it feels. I'll do it. I'll make it 20 yards. A gas. A walk
I
off.
want
Next
to watch
lap
that,
back.
can we
Yeah.
videotape that?
Yeah,
You will, because there'll be cameras.
Send it into America's Funniest Videos.
So then, is everybody good with those modifications?
I would agree with those.
Yeah.
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 And we're
Are
gonna
you
agree-
good with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a good kind of between listening to the community, I mean, obviously, you know, Jesse and I are in a position where,
I
you said,
know.
but again, we want to listen to the community and you guys.
Because we did talk to Emmett and Homedale, and they said that they locked it off completely and they had no problems with the community.
So,
We're better than them.
we'll be directed, we'll get that, we'll meet
talk
tomorrow.
too much about that.
Looks like.
Just to throw this out there, we did a lot of community members that were interested in walking first thing in the morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Well,
But
it's
you
gonna
have
be
to
dark.
open a light for that. I mean, you have to turn a light on. And I'm okay with that idea, but I'm not hearing that from other people.
Okay.
Can't have everything.
Well, I know in the summer they
Not
won't.
I did know we had somebody come visit
Yeah.
the board, and she does come in, she used to come in earlier than that.
And that was not in the summer though. I don't know if anybody. goes
In the
to 5 o'clock in
summertime,
the
I
winter.
would say our hope, and my hope, is that we visit this in 6 months and we say the community's had success with it. Let's continue to expand access to it.
The timed entries Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the public.
And they need to know where to park and that they can only get in, you know, through this.
9 to 11, 3 to 5.
Yeah, that's fine.
Those are probably good times.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. Jesse and I will be working on it. Thank you, Mr. Melendez.
Thanks for your input. Now, policy
Let's
updates.
see
What happens? I am calling that away. Policy, did you get a show how to do that? There's actually 2 policies before we look at the email out. Thank you, Mr. Melendez, I appreciate you being here. The first one in your packet is the personal electronic devices. Now, I presented this to you guys last month in its entirety. We have to adopt it on Monday. And so this is the version that we want. This is one that we gave you with the AR. We have to have a request for personal electronic device exemption, saying if there's like an IP, 504, something of that nature. They have an official way that they can request to be exempt from that.
This one.
So this is the one we use, and it mirrors our handbook, it mirrors everything that we've been doing, so, I mean, like I said, this is what we're doing, so that's what I'm recommending with the AR. And then also deleting our current personal electronic devices, social media version 1 that we have, because this will be that update. So,
So we've got a version 1 and a version 2. Version 1 must be what we saw before.
yeah, version 1 right here is deleted, it says deleted on it, this is the one that we have right now.
Oh, gotcha.
And
And
then-
so this version 2 is what we
Version 2,
saw
yeah, this is a proposed.
before.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
there's
So
no
this is
changes.
exactly, that's
Okay,
what I gave you
cool.
guys before, and like I said, it mirrors that.
And this meets all of Governor Kotek's.
Yep. So any questions about that? I just want to, before we propose it on next Monday, you guys had an opportunity to read it and ask questions, and so you felt pretty good about it.
So section 3, some of that stuff is in brackets. Does that mean those are options?
Yeah, so
For
what-
when a student requests an exemption?
Yeah, so it's that second one, may be kept by students in lockers or backpacks, but they're not stored on their person. So,
But we don't need to just choose which brackets, those are just options that will be.
so yeah, so that's the one that mirrors ours, that second bracket, may be kept by students in lockers or backpacks with personal
Okay,
electronics
that's
to be
what
stored on
we
students.
want.
Yeah,
Okay.
so. And that's, like I said, that's what we're doing.
What if, you know, somebody's diabetic and has that, they need to check their shit.
And that's
And then,
where,
but they're also texting.
well, that would be abuse of that, and so, so that's where that AR comes in at, that they have to kind of fill out and do. Obviously, it can be directed by the 504 team or IEP team as well. So that's gonna be, if they abuse that, then we'll have to do the numbers.
Have we had anybody oppose this?
I love it. It's been going really well, especially that mirrored with the backpack policy. Having backpacks.
I've only
in
heard
lockers.
good things from even students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah,
We
for the
have
most
a-
part, the students like it. Some like it about the backpack stuff, don't like it.
That's one right there.
But they all got,
Her face.
within 2
Yeah.
weeks, they were all.
Yeah.
So the backpack,
Yeah.
some of them, I've been told teachers on along,
No, it's a
lockers
Vanna
that
White,
have
yeah.
multiple toppings within them.
Yeah,
I think they're pushing.
I think, and they might be pushing that a little, I mean, so,
backpacks make sense because of what they're bringing stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, obviously having the electronic devices makes total sense.
And we know they're trying to have those big ones because they want to try to hide their cell phone in there, but they're pretty clear on what the consequences are if they're trying to do that.
And have we had problems with like kids going to their cars and?
Yeah, and we did see a small decrease in the amount of lunches because what happens is you have to be off campus.
So they go
And so
off campus.
more kids are going off campus for that, which is we're seeing a small impact on our nutrition. But I'm working on some things like could we do some more to-go lunches? Like, hey, if you're gonna go, take a lunch with you. Trying to find options for that, but I mean obviously revenue and that child nutrition is important. So, but yes,
Well, I know the coffee shop is busy.
yep.
Right across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, community's loving it now.
So they can't have their cell phone during the lunch hour if they're in the cafeteria?
Nope,
From 8
it's
to 4.
8 to 4, bell to bell.
The laws.
That's the government protest.
Yep, unless you're off of school grounds or on a
Field
school
trip.
bus on a trip or something of that nature. So,
Yeah, go through school like I did.
yeah, see, that's
Terrible, right?
that's exactly right.
We
Like,
survived.
and we just had a parent meeting at the high school where the parents were asking about that, and we gave them a survey, and I mean 95% plus more positive from students and staff. There is well, I called the office and I told them my kid has an appointment at 2:30 that never made it to him. So we're still working out wrinkles, right? It's not perfect, but we're getting better at it. So yeah, perfect. Okay, the next policy update.
So I just shared with everyone in the shared drive the policy updates. There will be some subfolders, so August, I'll just keep building on this.
And really quick, Nick, and there are 3 times of the year where we have policy updates, correct?
August.
The big ones.
And then November and April.
Yeah.
Usually comes out in April.
So constantly being updated based on law or those things. So you'll have big packets like this that you guys will access. So rarely will we get that one-offs like we have with cell phone policy. So more of the time, so this is pretty normal that you'll have these packets. And this is actually one of my favorite ones because it's not that bad. So go ahead.
And you may get an email from OSBA saying that there are policy updates, but it still takes about 2 weeks for their policy assistant person to overwrite their changes on top of ours. So the ones that they send out initially are just blanketed language, but then they go in and look at our policy and then take what they've changed and overwrite. So, does that make sense? So if you're like, oh, Megan hasn't got them to us yet, well, I'm most likely waiting on them to get to me, so I can give them to you. So here's the list of all of them once it loads. You can see over here, Crystal modified something. I think she then deleted it, but you'll be able to see if someone has gone in and made a comment. All of you have comment rights. All admin have comment rights. All our DO and anyone who the policies that they need to say because it affects them, they have comment rights. So we've asked admin to go in and start looking at these. I don't see that anyone has yet. A lot of these we don't even have, and a lot of them are really minor changes, so it's not a bad policy update. Your summary obviously is going to be all the legislative changes that kind of just summarizes why they're making the changes and then what policies, other than that main one that it may affect the language. So, we will work on getting feedback. If you guys just want to kind of take a look at them, and then we'll get you feedback hopefully by Monday.
But it's all online, no?
The admin will be looking at it not tomorrow, but next one, so we won't have anything official. I guess we could do it tomorrow. I mean, it's pretty,
There's
yeah.
really not.
Yeah, we might do it tomorrow. So I'll try to get tomorrow, have some feedback for you on Monday, but there's, yeah.
Oh, we wouldn't be, the only one we're adopting on Monday is
Is
the
the
cell
JF.
phone one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the other ones would just be a quick.
And you can see there's already 3 in there, so you can just kind of take those ones out.
That's it.
So this list is gonna get reduced.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the JFC EV that we're already gonna do.
Yeah, some of these are deletes,
Yeah.
and then proposed ones. A lot of these, we don't have those. We don't have a couple of these, we don't have these, we have a couple of those, just because they're law, so we don't need policy. So, and a lot of them are in our contract with our classified and certified staff, so, and it's law, so we don't need a policy.
Can you open one of those really quick, please? Just make one.
That's what I was gonna ask. So how do we know which ones we need to review?
Can there be like a folder?
So on the summary, isn't it, on the summary, it doesn't say,
Summary P.
In the past, I've kind of done a sheet that says we don't have, we have,
Oh, yes, the
I can,
quick reference,
Yeah.
like where they're all listed. Got it.
why don't I, after admin reviews them tomorrow, because we'll kind of get an idea of what ones that they're like, we don't need this, and then I'll email you guys out a list that says, these are the ones that.
As fun as it looks, I don't wanna read all of those.
You know you're into that.
So, like the budget committee one, it's very simple, language change just because the equity committee went from a board committee to a superintendent committee, and so now they're requiring a budget member to be on that committee. So that's the only language change there. So a lot of these are just something simple like that.
pretty low key.
Yeah.
That one's like that, equity committee just says it is no longer a, like I said, a board advisory committee, a superintendent advisory committee. So a lot of the ones are very, very
I
small
thought we couldn't have an
tweaks.
equity committee for a child.
That's what Oregon policy is until that changes, Oregon law is until that changes, that's what we have to do.
And we don't, I mean, obviously, we don't have that policy, and it's optional, a lot of these are optional.
Yeah, we don't even need to have that in policy because it's actually legislation that is guiding that, so it's law.
Okay, perfect. Any questions about that whole process? You guys remember how to, like, what they look like once it's striked out and everything, so. Perfect. Thank you, Megan.
Megan, did you say you were gonna make us a little cheat sheet for that or not gonna make us?
I will, after admin has their meeting tomorrow, I'll kind of get an idea of which ones they are leaning towards that they'll call.
And for some of us that prefer paper, copies, you can make paper copies.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to look at my phone.
Be honest, it's hard for you to look in the phone, try to find them.
I can't be the only one that would rather have,
I can make it a podcast as well.
no.
Yeah, I want you to do it.
Only if,
You just volunteer.
only if Rick's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's,
Sorry,
Okay.
I keep it.
get ready for my podcast, so. just let me know. Perfect, next item number 3, Division 22 standards, and so this is something that, obviously we have to go through every year. It is, the Division 22 says these are the basic standards that every school district in Oregon will do, and, I think we're doing 22 now, but, no, the 22 is something different. So it's an assurance. And so I will have a presentation on Monday that goes through these more in depth and what that Division 22 is for the community. But for you guys to know, right now, initially with our brick and mortar, we are 100% compliant, or if not compliant, pretty dang close with our Division 22 standards. There's a couple things with our virtual school that we're working through and seeing what our compliance plan will be. But, so these are all, do we have our diploma requirements? Do we have a modified one? There's a veterans one, extended. So it goes through all of those really basic things. PE requirement minutes, independent adoption, and you guys, we have policy on that and how we go through it. And so I wanted to give these to you to look at if you guys would like to, but that's really what it's saying is that all of the basic things the school district have, we have, and we do. And this is for the 24-25 school year. So, like I said, there's a couple things on there we've already, with our virtual, that we're already approving, so.
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
I like how it says highlighted in blue.
Oh, sorry, I didn't give you color. Mine's all highlighted.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I like that.
Megan even asked me, she's like, "Do you guys need any color?" I was like, "They're fine. Nobody
No,
knows."
it's fine, but I was like, I like how it says highlighted in
There's
blue.
nothing
Yeah.
highlighted in blue.
You know, and we have the, like I said, the personal finance kind of in there. So this is all of those things.
Right?
Yeah.
This one talks about PE. Do we meet that requirement for like kindergarten, first grade? Because
It actually it's elementary to kindergarten through fifth. So there's a couple ways that we modify, and we've already modified. We hired a PE health teacher this year,
right.
to improve that, and we've already made it changes because it was too health heavy to have that. But if you also, recess counts as long as it's a structured recess. And so, because right now it would be impossible for us in our 4 day, because we have to 120 instead of 150 because of 4 days. 120, unless we had it every single day, we couldn't meet that requirement. So we're finding ways. Playworks, which is a program we started a couple years ago that says, okay, here's some structured games, here's those things. Those could count.
I would just have, I think that kindergarten, first grade only get like PE like once a week.
And most grades right now are once a week, and that's where we've already
seems
changed that. So,
like a problem.
yeah.
These kids should be running a lot, especially kindergarten, first grade, like, these kids can't sit still.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you think of that, they have 3 recesses already.
Right.
Kindergarten first, they have 3 recesses, plus once a week they have PE. But that's where they have, I think they took art out of there, but they have their health, they have choir, they have library. And so there's a lot of specials in there that they have. But I would agree with you, they need more PE.
Well, and they do that running club at recess.
They do the running club at week
A lot of kids
recess,
are
which
really
is awesome.
excited
I love
about that.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
My
that
daughter's
considered
already done.
structured time?
it is,
kids don't have to do it.
small, and that's part of it, is we wanted a structured time. They can use that to be a structured time, but they can also decide not to. Leadership's coming and working on some like different painting and games and out there that they can do. So we're working on getting that structured out there to count for the compliance of it. But at the end of the day, we want kids outside more. You know, so,
I mean, I would just advocate more PE for little tiny kids.
Yeah.
The better. It's very
oh,
valuable.
I agree. So, for me too. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so just because this came up a couple minutes ago, I'm noticing on page 10, it says Educational Activity Advisory Committee. Is this saying that we actually don't have to have an equity committee because we're under 10,000 ADM?
no, I think we are required to have one.
It was,
Yeah.
I think, September.
And this is 24, 25, even though we've had one. And so this September is when everybody, so remember prior to that, we were a year ahead of the game.
Right.
It was anybody above this number, which was 10,000, had to have it. Everybody below that, this was their first year they're supposed to do it, but this is 24, 25, we
Okay.
already had it.
So on compliance status on page 10, we're yes in
Yeah.
compliance on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So, we've already had one of those meetings. We're still working on our, what is it there? Budget committee, trying to find a budget committee member to be on there. So we're working on it.
It seems like we're not the only district struggling with that piece.
They're not,
Right.
yeah.
You mean finding more volunteers or just?
I know,
Right.
it's
Yes.
especially where they put budget committee members on there, because a lot of them, I mean, it's still kind of, it's an issue getting, you know, a lot of volunteers for that position, and then we're saying, oh, by the way, and, right?
The
So,
hardest committee to fill, we need to put you on the other committee too.
Exactly.
So,
Gosh. But anyway,
Any other questions on the Division 22 standards? On the board report, we're going to have our fall regional meeting on October 28th in Vail. This meeting satisfies your board training requirements for newly elected board members. It's on a Tuesday. I think it's at 6, isn't it?
6 to 8, yep.
6 to 8, so ESD will feed us, and so are we gonna like meet here at 5:30 and go over?
Yep, be here
some-
5:30, and then we'll take a vehicle over. It'll be fun, it'll be a good time. So, it'll be,
You'll already be
You're
there.
driving again?
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
I'll drive myself.
No, Nick had a question about this, and I don't know that I adequately answered it. That training, it's not an annual training, it's just every term, right?
yep,
once your term, yeah, like Pat and I went to it this summer when we went to the summer workshop, but,
Okay.
yeah, you have to have, once a term, you have to have training. And so this,
How many hours of training?
It's just you need to have this training.
so you'll
This
get,
training.
it's kind of nice too, to meet with some of the other board members from Vail and Adrian, Ontario, you know, just to kind of do some networking.
And it's good, I mean, it's only a couple hours, and it's, like I said, having OSBA there to talk about local issues, state issues, national issues is really good. So,
So try and plan on attending that if you can. And then the next thing is on the 17th, which is a week from Friday, will be our first home football game on the new turf. We're going to do a ribbon cutting ceremony. I'll let Ryan talk about some of the things that they have planned.
perfect, as we know, I mean, I've been flooding you guys with ribbon cutting ceremony stuff, but we do have it, games at 7, 6:30, about 6:40, somewhere around there. Kind of depends on their warm-up time, and Umatilla will be with them. We'll have the ribbon cutting ceremony, that won't take long. You guys all have to be on the field with me, thank you.
And we should all wear Bulldog blue
Wear
something.
your Bulldog Strong, Bulldog Blue stuff, please. And then after that, the Bullpup dancers will be behind us, and they have like a 4-minute little kind of thing with some flags. It'll be really cool. Free hamburgers and hot dogs for everybody, and
Thanks to the Wright brothers mess up.
yep, and the Wright brothers will be supplying that, cooking that up, and giving that for our community, which is cool. So if anything, you can just come and get free food and see the new turf.
Do you know what'd be really fun to do on this as well, is if you had the play sing a song as like an anticipation? It'd be pretty
We
cool.
do have the marching band doing something,
All right.
and so
'Cause that play's gonna be
yeah,
awesome.
it's gonna be amazing. I know some key actresses in there that is gonna be just. Anyway, so yeah.
So
it'll
where,
be a good
should we
event.
just like meet down, I mean, that's
Just
that's
meet
a-
right there on the field. You know where the
Us
football
board
players right there.
members are-
Yep. Just meet right down there with me, and
No metal boots.
Oh, no.
yeah,
No high heels?
yeah. Oh, you can absolutely wear high heels. Just,
Oh, God.
just
Yeah.
have one there with the
You
gurney.
better have the ambulance there.
That's a football team.
So 6:20,
Yep.
7.
there are 6:20?
No, if you're down at the field right there at 6:30, you should be good. So, and remember, we're gonna change the traffic, that tickets and entrance will be at the foyer where it used to be at,
Oh,
going that way, and then instead of here, just for,
just for that night
no, it'll be
from now on?
from now on, just, we have ADA
Going through the
compliance.
foyer like we used to when you were in high school?
Oh, going through the building.
Yeah, going through the building, yeah. So it's better access for our visitors, and if, you know, we have somebody in a wheelchair, that to get over to the visitor side, it's safer, and so we're just gonna continue to go through that, so. Yep,
So be there at 6:30.
It's cold, go in
exactly, so, yeah. So, and it helps if there's a volleyball game going through, like, people can kind of come through,
there. Yeah,
maybe,
it's great.
you know, do that.
Do a little bit.
Yeah, so, but anyway, so that's at 6:30. I did hear a recommendation to invite everybody who won a state championship, what was it, 04, or no, when were the,
07, the girls' basketball team?
well, football players on the
Oh.
field. To invite them, but we're probably not. But anyway, and this is gonna be big for our community, and so the more people we can get out there to celebrate this, the better.
Do they know how many people potentially will be there to have enough burgers and stuff for everybody?
They are going to be serving a lot of hamburgers and
I'm
hot
just
dogs, and
saying.
so I plan on throwing away a lot, because
So
I
we're
would
sending
like
a
to,
flyer home?
yeah, just, I mean,
So then
Full
Mr.
house.
Carlton better have a lot of sodas, because,
yeah, anyway, so, it'll be really good.
A lot of Pepsi bottles.
Lots of Pepsi products.
are we gonna
be
switch
sold.
to Coke?
We're still under contract with them, so, some people are mad.
And nothing like a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mr. Grotting's coming, you said?
Yes, and Mr. Grotting is flying in, he'll be here, or just anybody who's kind of been involved in that, kind of bringing that to our community, I wanted here and on the field. Leslie will be on the field with us, with some Wright brothers, Leslie Thompson with the Argus, so we have a party planned.
Right. Any other questions on that?
I have a question. I just have one thing I want to say real quick. I think Dustin went, I think some of you have been to like school lunches. We haven't given any report on that. I would like to do that in one of these meetings. We have to do it now, it's been a long meeting. But could we get that on the agenda next time that we can do?
Yeah.
Kind of a
Could we
report.
put that on Monday on the board,
Where's my
for the board clerk?
We can do it that, or we can do it next work session too, it's fine.
I think it'd be a better work session.
Work session thing? how amazing it
Well,
was.
I mean, I thought there's some really good things. I think there's things that we could support him more with. I think there's some things that we could ask for, and it might be, we might need to increase the budget so we can do it, but I think it'd be worth it to.
That would be good. So, yeah, so just next study session.
Next
Oh,
work session.
That's crazy to think about. Anyway.
Okay, any other questions or anything else for the good of the order? Meeting is